Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Artistic Vegan Show. Today we're going to be making a pizza, and it's not just any pizza. This is a special alchemical pizza in the shape of a caduceus. Now, if you don't know what a caduceus is, you can look into my husband's research, Gerald Clark, at geraldclark77.com, and he talks about it in great detail in both of his books. And if you're not familiar with what it looks like, think about the medical symbol that you often see in the medical industry. And it's originally Thoth, Hermes symbol, or technically originally Enki's, and then he gave it to Thoth and he inherited it. And if you'd like to learn more about that, then you can look into my husband's work. And today I'm just going to focus on how we make that pizza. And you can of course put it in any shape that you like. This is just kind of for fun. To start, I have 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose gluten-free flour. Now this recipe can be found on my blog. It's a rice flour base with some starch in it. It's a very simple recipe, and you can also use something like Hodgson's Mill or any other gluten-free flour mix that you like. Just make sure it's an all-purpose formula, one that does include some starch and hopefully some kind of xanthan gum that helps hold things together. You can also use a regular all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour. I'm just going for a gluten-free blend, so it makes this feel a little bit lighter and better. Okay, so to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I used a pink Himalayan sea salt, though any type of salt can be used. Mix that up. To that, I have 1 cup of coconut milk. You could use any milk that you like, preferably a non-dairy milk, since we're making a vegan recipe. And you could use soy milk. If you don't like soy, you could use almond milk. If you're allergic to almonds, you could use, or nuts, you could use like a hemp milk. And I'm using a coconut milk. It's what we had on hand, and it's really delicious. So I'm going to start with about half of this, and then if I need the whole cup, I've got it handy. Now I've got a 1/4 cup of applesauce. This is my oil replacement. You could also use something like a sweet potato, another squash. What else? You could use some zucchini, even some carrot mash. You could get creative and use a few different things in this recipe. I'm going with homemade applesauce since I happen to have some in the fridge. Though, like I said, you could also use an oil if you're not concerned with the fat content, or you want something with oil in it. You know, olive oil would be great here. Now, if you have a mixer that mixes dough together, you can put this in there and whip it up. I don't, so I'm going to use my hand, which is totally fine. Now, this is a very basic crust. You could add some herbs, you could add garlic, you could add different spices, some red pepper flakes. You could get creative. I'm going to go for the whole cup of milk. So just mix that all together until it is combined and creates a ball. Looks like a great consistency. I'm going to get my hands wet and put my hands into it and really knead it out for a few minutes. With wet hands, I'm going to knead it for a few minutes and then shape it into a ball. I probably was a little zealous on adding the rest of that milk. It did get a little sticky, so I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top. With any dough, you can always add a little more liquid, a little more dry. Okay, so I ended up adding approximately a quarter cup of the corn flour and a little bit extra of my gluten-free. You could just not pour all the milk in and avoid this step, or you could do it this way, either way. All right, now it's really coming together very nicely. Looks great. I'm gonna roll it into a ball, or shape it. Okay, so now take a nice clean surface and put some alchemical flour on. I'm going to use corn flour. Oftentimes on pizza, you'll have a little bit of that corn flour on the outside, and this will add just a very nice flavor. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of flour on top since it is erring on the side of slightly sticky. Okay. Now once you have your ball, roll it out to your desired thickness. I love rolling dough. There's something very therapeutic about it. I notice if you go slow and steady, not too much pressure on either side, it almost reminds me of doing body work. So you could stop here and have a nice, thick, beautiful, round pizza pie. We are gonna make ours into a fun design today, though. Once you have your dough to your desired thickness, let's say about a 1/4 inch, maybe a little less, and we're going to draw it in the shape of a caduceus. So you may want to look at an image on Google. That's originally what I did, and this inspiration came from my cookbook. It's the Hermes Caduceus pizza. So I originally did look up an image on Google so I could figure out how to draw it, and I practiced on a piece of paper and then I proceeded to do it. I did draw one this morning since it's been a while, and I'll just do my best job. So you want to create room for the head on top, down to the neck. And make some wings. Now I'm pressing very gently in case I mess up, and I can come back. So once you have the wings, just bring it straight in. And come wide for the body. And if it's not quite perfect, you can fix it. It's okay. You could go for a smaller frame, but the larger means you get more pizza to eat. So take away the excess dough. I'm going to carefully transfer it to a baking sheet that is lined with parchment paper. You could also use one that is just floured or greased, or even lined with aluminum foil and grease. So it's better to use a parchment paper. You could even use a baking mat. So I am going to heat the oven to 450 degrees, though sometimes mine creeps up to 500, so keep yours at about 450. And I'm going to transfer this to the prepared baking sheet and proceed to bake it for about 15 minutes until it starts puffing up and getting kind of cooked, and then we'll put the toppings on. Just do it the best you can. You know, if you knock a head off, it's okay, you can put it back on. I managed to do it successfully. I'm just going to straighten it out a little. It almost looks like an angel. Form the rest of your dough into a ball and re-roll it out. So in the longest part, make 3 strips of the dough. A little less than an inch. Now this part's really fun. Just roll it out, or roll it into a snake like you would in grade school, like with your Play-Doh or something. Now, when's the last time you got to do this? This is pretty fun. Now, if you have kids, they might really like this part. You can invite them in to do this part. It's been a while since I've done it. So this part of your hand makes it smoother. Okay. And then with the leftover dough, I'm going to roll it out and just make a general small pizza that will bake after this one is done, since I only have the one pan. So I'm just going to set it aside, and I will re-roll it out. So I'm going to take one and place one of the snakes down the center, stopping at the neck. And you can kind of gently press it in there. Roll the excess into a little ball. Well, the dough actually turned out perfect. By the time you're done rolling it out, playing with flour in it, it turned out to be just the right consistency. So it was 2 1/4 of the all-purpose flour with 1/4 cup of the harina de maize or corn flour and the remainder of the ingredients, and it turned out really nice. So with our other snakes, I'm going to take them and wrap them around. I'm just going to do it real quick. Yeah. There. Just starting to look familiar. So place your snake on top. Carefully apply your other one. Now if you press at the juncture point, at the crossing points, it'll help. Stay together. There, and we have our caduceus. So now, I'm gonna make a snake head. It's truly our snake. And to make it look very realistic, you can add a little eye. So now this actually represents your DNA strands, and the whole symbol is about transformation, and my book is the alchemical transformation, so this kind of makes sense. I did adjust the recipe so that way we can enjoy it here without crossing over. Okay, so with the excess that I had from the first snake, I've rolled it into a ball, and I'm going to place it on just to make the head a little bit more pronounced. So we have our caduceus pizza. I'm going to place this in the oven. It's at 450 degrees for about 15 minutes until it gets nice and golden. In the meantime, I will be making sauce and show you how to do that. Before I make this sauce, I'm going to roll out the rest of my dough, that way it's ready. And once that one is done baking, I will transfer and bake this one. And this crust is gluten-free, vegan, oil-free. Virtually anyone can enjoy this pizza. If you're allergic to tomatoes or don't like tomatoes, you could use pesto sauce or your favorite. Okay, so I think that's good enough. I'm going to set this aside and we'll move forward with the sauce. The sauce ingredients, very simple. I have 1 can of organic tomato puree. Then I have 1 tablespoon of some minced basil. In here for the spices, I have 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. You could use more or less, and an optional 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, mainly for color and a little bit of flavor. And here I have 1/2 of a large red onion diced in half. As you can see, I made over 1/2 cup, and 1 very large garlic clove that I'm going to mince, as well as 1 cup of chopped tomatoes. So I'm going to move the camera and we'll make it on the stove, and this will not take very long, and it will create a nice, wonderful sauce that we can put on our pizza. You might have a little leftover, but you can use it for future recipes. Alright, so here's the second pizza. As you can see, it formed beautiful little bubbles like a pizza pie would. So it turned out really great. The sauce is almost done. I've added the herbs, the seasoning, it's just getting the final marinade together. And then we're going to spread it on top and put our toppings on, bake it for a few more minutes until desired, and eat it. So we're almost done. Our sauce turned out really, really wonderful. It's thick, it'll be wonderful, and it smells so good. Okay, grab your weapon of choice and put some sauce on top. I'm just gonna use this spoon. So from here, I'm going to put sauce on our other pizza, and then we will put toppings on. Spread the desired amount of sauce on top, maybe like a lot, maybe like a little. Vegan cheese here would be so delicious. It's a beautiful fall day here. I hope it is where you are too. Okay, so I do have a little extra sauce, but that's okay. It can be used in future recipes with delight. So I have the sauce on our pizzas, and I've got a plate here. It's just basic plant-based toppings, and you could use whatever you want. I'm kind of going for a colorful array just to give my best interpretation of the chakras with what I had on hand. Okay, that oven is getting hot. It's getting hot in the kitchen. So I am going to add the toppings now. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit of red to this corner, followed by some orange. So the red represents your base chakra or your first chakra. The orange is your second chakra. A little bit of yellow for your solar plexus or your third chakra. And maybe you could do some meditation while you do this, so take some nice clearing breaths, and with the anticipation of clearing your chakras and putting that energy into here so other people's chakras will be cleared while you eat it. You can do fun things like that. Okay, next we have green. This is your heart chakra. I did a wonderful heart opening yoga session via Erica Vetra today, and it was really awesome. So my heart feels nice and open, and I'm going to have the green there to represent it. Now, blue for your throat chakra, indigo for your third eye, so you can see, and violet for your head chakra. If I had some purple cabbage, that would be really awesome here. I don't, but I have some red onion, or purple onion, and it kind of has a mixture of that violet, purple for the kind of indigo-ish feel. Now, one thing I've also done is I've done the top dessert, so you could use like blueberries, blackberries, and then have pizza on the bottom and dessert on top, as long as it doesn't cross over. Okay, then since I put sauce on, I'll move ahead and make a head on top, so we'll add a couple eyes. Nose. Oh. Smile. So there we have our funny caduceus, and it's a caduceus pizza with the different chakras, and we can envision the different colors here. So on this other pizza, I'm just going to take a sprinkle of everything that's left and put it on top. I'm going to put this in the oven, bake it for about 10-12 minutes, and then put this one in the oven next. Turned out really cute. I'm going to put it in the oven. And this flour recipe, or this dough recipe, was a new recipe, and it turned out great. So I'm really excited about that. So I've added some red onions, some green onions, just like one olive, some tomato, and I'm just sprinkling this on. There's no rhyme, there's no reason. The nice thing about pizza is it looks good. Now, carrots on pizza is kind of weird. I mainly just did it because of the color. An orange bell pepper would have been a better choice, but I didn't have one. So, whatever. That looks good. Now some olives on top. You could add, we might add a few olives on top, some vegan cheese, and obviously you could use whatever toppings that you could desire. You could use like barbecue sauce and make like add some pineapple. You can do whatever you want. So on top of this, I'm going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes. There, looks beautiful. So I have the other pizza in the oven. This pizza is ready to go in. I'm gonna turn off the camera, bake them, and I'll come back when they're all delicious and done, and then we'll eat them. So the very final thing is, of course, to cut it, serve it, and eat it. The best part. I was just saying to Ripto and Gerald, I love these videos because at the end you get something good to eat. Look at that. So there's the pizza. Holds up like regular pizza would. Yeah. No second guessing, no hesitation, just instant satisfaction. This is really good pizza. And the dough, it reminds you of just a regular old pizza dough. And it doesn't have any yeast, it doesn't have any oil, it doesn't have any gluten, it doesn't have any dairy. It's completely vegan, plant-based, good for you. So you can get big on them. They're not big on them. Look at that. It even created an air bubble. That's pretty incredible. This is probably one of my best pizzas. I really think this crust turned out great, and I think you're all gonna really love it. So you could also make one huge big pizza. You could make 5 pizzas. You can do whatever you want with this recipe. Well, I better go share this with my husband before I eat it all. And this is Christa with artisticvegan.com. Thank you for watching today's show. I hope you enjoyed it.